Bonnie Tyler, MBE, whose married name is Gaynor Sullivan, was born in Skewen, a small village near Swansea, on the 8th of June 1951 and christened Gaynor Hopkins by her parents Elsie and Glyndor Hopkins. Her father was a coal miner. She has 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Bonnie grew up listening to a wide range of musical genres. One of her earliest musical memories was listening to her mother singing opera music in the family home. Bonnie attended church until she was 16 years old, and her first ever performance was singing All Things Bright and Beautiful in church. Frankie Miller was the first live act that she saw, and she later recorded duets with him. Her sisters and brothers had varied music tastes, and she heard various artists such as Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and the Beatles. Her 2 biggest influences from a young age were Janis Joplin and Tina Turner. She said River Deep, Mountain High as being her all-time favorite song. Other artists that influenced her in her youth include Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, Meat Loaf, Joe Cocker, Dusty Springfield, and Tommy Steele. She has also expressed admiration for contemporary artists such as Guns N' Roses, Anastacia, Toni Braxton, Duffy, and Eminem. After leaving school, she began working in a grocery shop. In 1969, she entered a local talent contest, coming in 2nd place, and this inspired her to pursue a career in singing. Responding to a newspaper advertisement, she found work as a backing singer for Bobby Wayne and the Dixies before forming her own soul band called Imagination. It was around this time that she changed her name to Sharon A. Davis, to avoid being confused with Welsh folk singer Mary Hopkin. In 1975, she was spotted singing with her band in the Townsman Club, Swansea, by talent scout Roger Bell, who invited her to London to record a demo track. Months later, she received a phone call from RCA Records, offering her a recording contract. They also recommended that she change her name again. After compiling a list of surnames and first names from a newspaper, she found a new name in Bonnie Tyler. Ronnie Scott and Steve Wolfe became her managers, songwriters, and producers. Reviewers from AllMusic have described Tyler's voice as inimitable, wonderfully gritty, and an effective instrument for drawing notice to her first managers, Ronnie Scott and Steve Wolfe. The song My Honeycomb was released as her debut single in April 1976. RCA increased their promotional efforts for the release of her second single, Lost in France, arranging for her to meet with a party of journalists at a French chateau. The single became a top 10 single by the end of the year. Bonnie Tyler's next single, More Than a Lover, was performed by her on the BBC's Top of the Pops on the 31st March 1977. The song peaked at number 27 in the UK. Her debut album, The World Starts Tonight, was successful in Sweden, where it climbed to number 2. In 1978, her song It's a Heartache reached number 4 in the United Kingdom. The song also became her first hit in the United States, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Her second studio album Natural Force, released in the same year, was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America with sales of over 500,000 copies. Here Am I was released as a 3rd single in the spring of 1978, and it charted in European countries. Her 3rd studio album, Diamond Cut, was released in 1979. Most of the songs were again written and produced by Ronnie Scott and Steve Wolfe. Diamond Cut was a hit in Norway and Sweden. AllMusic declared the album to be the high point of Bonnie Tyler's early career, and a dynamite showcase for Tyler's inimitable voice. 2 singles were released from Diamond Cut. Those were My Guns Are Loaded and Too Good to Last. She also released The World Is Full of Married Men, which was used as the theme song for the film of the same name. Bonnie appears in the film singing the song during the title sequence. It peaked at number 35 on the UK singles chart in July 1979. Her first tour of Japan took place in 1979. During her visit, she represented the United Kingdom in the World Popular Song Festival held in Tokyo. She won the competition with the song, Sitting on the Edge of the Ocean, written by Scott and Wolf. I Believe in Your Sweet Love was also released in 1979, and listed as a single of the week in 1979 by Record Mirror upon its release. Both singles featured on her final studio album with RCA. Goodbye to the Island was released in 1981, recorded in the Algarve, Portugal. She has co-written a handful of B-sides and other tracks. Gonna Get Better, a B-side to the 1980 Japanese single Sayonara Tokyo, was written with her brother, Paul Hopkins. After her contract with RCA expired, she signed with CBS Columbia. Artists and repertoire man Muff Winwood asked her to scout a new producer. She considered Phil Collins, Jeff Lynne, and Alan Tarnay, but Jim Steinman was her first choice. She said, "I'm a huge fan of his records, especially his solo album, and when my manager and I were discussing my comeback, we both agreed that I had to sound the best or nobody would take me seriously." Steinman initially declined, but reconsidered after Bonnie sent him demos of the rock material she was hoping to record. After their initial meeting, Bonnie went to Steinman's apartment in New York a few weeks later, where he performed Total Eclipse of the Heart with Rory Dodd. Steinman described the song as a Wagnerian-like onslaught of sound and emotion, and a showpiece for Tyler's voice. Her fifth album was recorded at the Power Station in New York, with members of the E Street Band, Rick Derringer on guitar, Rory Dodd and Eric Troyer on backing vocals, and Steinman as producer. Jim Steinman wrote her biggest hit, Total Eclipse of the Heart, the lead single from her 1983 UK chart-topping album Faster Than the Speed of Night. Total Eclipse of the Heart was released in the UK on the 11th of February 1983. It became one of the best-selling singles of all time with over 6 million sold. Her fifth studio album, Faster Than the Speed of Night, debuted at number 1 on the UK Albums Chart and number 3 on the Cashbox and 4 on the Billboard 200, selling over 1 million copies in the United States. Bonnie Tyler's commercial success led to several award nominations, including 2 Grammys, 2 AMAs, and a Brit Award. She was named Best Recording Artist at the Variety Club of Great Britain Awards, and she received a Goldie Europa. Steinman also wrote her other major 1984 hit, Holding Out for a Hero, from the Footloose soundtrack. In the following year, her recording of Here She Comes for Giorgio Moroder's restoration of the 1927 film Metropolis earned Bonnie a Grammy nomination for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance. In 1986, she released her 6th studio album, Secret Dreams and Forbidden Fire. Working with Jim Steinman, the album also featured songs written by Desmond Child and Bryan Adams and a cover of Band of Gold by Freda Payne. If You Were a Woman, and I Was a Man, became the album's most successful single, selling over 250,000 units in France. The music video, directed by Steinman and Stuart Orme, received 6 nominations at the Billboard Video Music Conference. Secret Dreams and Forbidden Fire found chart success in Europe, peaking at number 24 in the UK. The album reached number 106 in the United States. In 1987, she worked with Mike Oldfield on the title track to his album Islands. The following year, Bonnie Tyler played Polly Garter in George Martin's album Under Milkwood, a radio drama by Dylan Thomas. The music was composed by Elton John and features vocal contributions from Tom Jones, Anthony Hopkins, and Mary Hopkin. Bonnie Tyler asked Desmond Child to produce her 7th album, Hide Your Heart, which came out on the 9th of May 1988. The album featured collaborations with Michael Bolton, Albert Hammond, and Diane Warren. The album's singles, Hide Your Heart, Save Up All Your Tears, and The Best, became major hits for other artists. Bonnie had success in mainland Europe during the 1990s with Dieter Bohlen, who wrote and produced her hit, Bitter Blue. She began working with various producers for her 8th studio album. Working with Dieter Bohlen, Giorgio Moroder, Nick Kershaw, and Roy Bittan. David Bruner, artists and repertoire manager for Hannah, said that they used so many producers in efforts to capture many different moods for many different territories, because they believed in the international crossover potential of Bonnie Tyler. Bitter Blue was released on the 11th of November 1991. The title track was released a month ahead of the album and became a top 40 hit in several European countries. It was named Catchy Song of the Year at the RSH Gold Awards. In the following year, Bitter Blue was released as a promotional single in the United States. The album was a commercial success in mainland Europe. It topped the charts in Austria and Norway, achieving full platinum status in the latter country with 11 weeks at number 1. Bonnie Tyler's subsequent albums, Angel Heart, 1992, and Silhouette in Red, 1993, were also successful in mainland Europe. Both albums featured a greater share of songs written and produced by Dieter Bohlen. Bonnie was named Best International Singer at the Golden Europa Awards in 1993, and Best Pop Rock Singer at the Echo Awards in 1994. In 1995, Bonnie Tyler moved to East West Records and released Free Spirit. The album featured collaborations with a variety of producers including Umberto Gottica, David Foster, and Jim Steinman. The lead single, a cover of Air Supply's Making Love Out of Nothing at All, reached number 45 on the UK singles chart in January 1996. The album was re-released in March 1996 featuring a cover of Limelight by the Alan Parsons Project. The track was used as a theme for the German team at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. Her 12th studio album, All in One Voice, was released in 1998. Much of the album was recorded with Jimmy Smith in Dublin and Harold Faltermeyer in Hamburg. In 1998, she appeared on Rick Wakeman's orchestral album Return to the Center of the Earth on the song, Is Anybody There? The album also included narration from Star Trek actor Patrick Stewart and vocals from Ozzy Osbourne, Katrina Lescanich, and Justin Hayward. On the 14th of September 2001, she released Greatest Hits, a compilation album containing 17 tracks. The album entered the UK Albums Chart at number 18, and was certified silver by the British phonographic industry for sales of over 60,000 units. Greatest Hits reached the top 10 in a further 5 European countries. Also in 2001, she co-wrote 4 songs with Gary Pickford Hopkins on his GPH album, and duetted with him on the track, Loving You Means Leaving You. Tyler was also involved in writing several tracks for her 2005 album Wings, including its singles, Louise, and Celebrate. In 2002, Bonnie began working on her 13th studio album, Heartstrings. EMI approached her with the idea of recording a cover album with an orchestra and her band. She selected 13 songs by artists such as U2, The Beatles, and Bruce Springsteen. The songs were arranged by composers Nick Ingman and Carl Jenkins, and performed by the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra. Heartstrings was released on the 18th of March 2003, and was followed by a tour in Germany. The album charted in Europe, reaching the top 50 in 5 countries. In 2003, she re-recorded Total Eclipse of the Heart with singer Karine Anton. Their bilingual duet, titled Side Domain Turn Around, topped the French charts. It went to number 1 in Belgium and France, where it held the top position for 10 weeks, selling over 500,000 units. The success of the single was considered to be Bonnie Tyler's comeback in France, and received overwhelmingly positive reviews from music critics. Her 14th studio album Simply Believe was released in April 2004. It featured 7 new songs and various re-recordings and covers. Bonnie and Anton recorded Sight Out Esserit, It's a Heartache, as a second bilingual duet. It peaked at number 12 in France. She co-wrote the title track of the album, and 2 additional songs, with producer Jean Larcene. Simply Believe spent 23 weeks on the French album charts and peaked at number 18. Bonnie was also involved in writing several tracks for her 2005 album Wings, including its singles, Louise, and Celebrate. She released her 15th studio album Wings in the spring of 2005. It was recorded in Paris, and featured 12 new songs, 2 of which were also recorded in French, and new versions of Total Eclipse of the Heart and It's a Heartache. Bonnie Tyler promoted the album with an extensive tour of Europe, including a televised performance at the Sopot International Song Festival in Poland, and recorded concerts at La Cigale in Paris and at the Fiestas del Pilar in Zaragoza, Spain. She received the Lifetime Achievement Steiger Award in 2005. Footage from all 3 concerts appeared on her live DVD Bonnie on Tour, which was released in 2006. Wings was issued in the UK in 2006 under the title Celebrate. In 2006, Bonnie made her first appearance on television in America, where she performed Total Eclipse of the Heart with actress Lucy Lawless on Celebrity Duets. In the following year, she recorded a new version of Total Eclipse of the Heart with punk band Baby Pink Star and released From the Heart, Greatest Hits, which reached number 2 in Ireland and number 31 in the UK. In April 2009, Bonnie joined Welsh male voice choir Only Men Allowed on their UK tour to perform Total Eclipse of the Heart. They recorded the song for their second studio album Band of Brothers, which was released in October. In the same year, she also recorded the title song for Mal Pope's new musical Cappuccino Girls, and performed the song at the opening night in Swansea's Grand Theatre. She also made a cameo on Hollyoaks later to sing Holding Out for a Hero in a dream sequence with Carmel McQueen, Gemma Murner. In 2010, Bonnie Tyler appeared in a television advertisement for MasterCard singing a parody of Total Eclipse of the Heart. She released Something Going On with country singer Wayne Warner and a new version of Making Love Out of Nothing at All with Matt Petrin in July and August respectively. In October, she toured with Robin Gibb in Australia and New Zealand. In 2011, Bonnie Tyler appeared on Swedish TV show The Evening Is Yours, singing Total Eclipse of the Heart with Swedish singer Niklas Paulström. Bonnie also performed It's a Heartache. She also made a guest appearance in the music video Newport State of Mind, a parody of the Jay-Z and Alicia Keys song Empire State of Mind for the BBC's comic relief charity. Also in 2011, she won an award at the BMI London Awards for It's a Heartache, gaining over 3 million airplays on US television and radio since it was first recorded in 1977. She also appeared on the Ukrainian version of X Factor as one of the 3 British guests, alongside Kylie Minogue and Cher Lloyd. Bonnie performed It's a Heartache, Total Eclipse of the Heart, and Holding Out for a Hero. In September 2011, she released a new compilation titled Best of 3 CD, which charted at number 36 in France. The album featured a cover of Eternal Flame by the Bangles, which was recorded as a duet with Laura Zen in French and English and released as a single. In early 2012, Tyler began working on her 16th album, Rocks and Honey. She traveled to Nashville, Tennessee in search of material for the album. It was recorded at the Blackbird Studios in Nashville and produced by David Huff. She sent the album to the BBC ahead of its release for feedback. After hearing the 3rd track, Believe in Me, they asked her to represent the United Kingdom with the song at the Eurovision Song Contest 2013 held in Malmö, Sweden. Although she was initially reluctant, she accepted, saying Eurovision as great publicity for my album. She was announced as the United Kingdom's entrant on the 7th of March 2013. Believe in Me was released on the 13th March and peaked at number 93 in the United Kingdom. As a member of the Big Five, the United Kingdom automatically qualified to the Eurovision Grand Final on the 18th of May. She finished in 19th place with 23 points. Reacting to the results, she said, "I did the best that I could do with a great song," adding, "I'm so glad and so happy that I did it because it was an incredible experience. It was like the Grammy Awards all over again." Following the Eurovision Song Contest, Bonnie Tyler became the first representative for the United Kingdom to receive a Eurovision Song Contest Radio Award. She received the accolades for Best Song and Best Female Singer. Rocks and Honey was released on the 6th of May 2013 in the United Kingdom, and peaked at number 52 on the UK Albums Chart. The album was titled in reference to the contrast between Tyler and Vince Gill's voice on their duet, What You Need From Me, which was likened to Rocks and Honey. This Is Gonna Hurt and Love Is the Knife were released as the second and third singles in August and September 2013 respectively. In 2014, Bonnie Tyler released Miserere on Rigian Roberts' album One Day Like This, and Fortune on Spike's album 100% Pure Frankie Miller. In June 2015, she appeared on Die Schönsten Disney Songs aller Zeiten, a one-off televised celebration of popular Disney songs in Germany, where she performed Circle of Life from The Lion King. In September 2015, she performed Total Eclipse of the Heart and Holding Out for a Hero on Best Time Ever with Neil Patrick Harris, Nicole Scherzinger, and Alec Baldwin. In 2016, she featured on Frankie Miller's album Double Take. In March 2017, she released a new single titled Love's Holding On with German metal band Axel Rudi Pell. In August 2017, Bonnie Tyler performed Total Eclipse of the Heart aboard the MS Oasis of the Seas with American dance rock band DNCE to mark the solar eclipse of the 21st of August 2017. The song received an increase of 31,000 online downloads, which led to a placement of number 13 on the Billboard Digital Songs chart. In November that year, she released a new compilation titled Remixes and Rarities. The album debuted numerous tracks from her back catalogue that had not previously been released on CD. In March 2018, she embarked on a 22-date tour of Germany and Austria to celebrate the 40th anniversary of It's a Heartache, with Sharon Levy as support. In February 2019, Bonnie released Hold On as the lead single from her 17th studio album, Between the Earth and the Stars. The album followed in March 2019 and peaked at number 34 on the UK Albums Chart. It was recorded with David McKay, who produced Bonnie Tyler's first two albums in the 1970s. Between the Earth and the Stars features 3 duets with Rod Stewart, Francis Rossi, and Cliff Richard. Bonnie Tyler embarked on a 23-date tour of Europe to support the album in April 2019, culminating with an appearance at BBC Proms in the Park in Hyde Park, London, and a headline concert at the London Palladium in September. Her show at El Olympia in Paris was filmed and released through Canal+. In August 2019, Cherry Red Records released a box set compiling Bonnie Tyler's first 4 studio albums. Classic Pop magazine described the RCA years as a thoroughly researched 4-CD set. In November 2019, she made a guest appearance at Ben Zucker's concert at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, Berlin to sing It's a Heartache. Their duet features on his live album, released in May 2020. In December 2019, she released a new version of her 2005 song, Streets of Stone, for the World's Big Sleep Out, an international homeless charity event. On the 14th of December 2019, she performed at the Vatican's annual Concerto di Natale in the presence of Pope Francis. In May 2020, Bonnie released Through Thick and Thin, I'll Stand By You, with Lorraine Crosby as a charity single in aid of the Teenage Cancer Trust. It reached number 64 on the UK downloads chart. Her latest studio album, The Best Is Yet to Come, followed in February 2021. On the 2nd of September 2022, she and Mike Batt released their duet, Into the Sunset, as a digital single. The track was originally released on the soundtrack to The Dreamstone in 1990. In October 2022, Bonnie Tyler performed Total Eclipse of the Heart live with the cast of Tanz der Vampire in Stuttgart to mark the musical's 25th anniversary. In November 2022, she embarked on her first ever tour of South America, with 8 dates in Brazil and 1 date in Uruguay. Speaking with El País, Bonnie stated that she hopes to release another studio album in 2023. Her work has earned her 3 Grammy Award nominations and 3 Brit Award nominations, among other accolades. The Yorkshire Times wrote that Tyler's vocals have still got what it takes to make you tingle. Jim Steinman told People magazine that he wrote Total Eclipse of the Heart as a showpiece for Tyler's voice. AllMusic said that Tyler's voice produced the perfect type of desperate lovelorn effect to suit the romantic lyrics. Bonnie has also been involved in numerous charitable activities. She has featured in 3 charity supergroups. In 1986, she joined the Anti-Heroin Project to record It's a Living World. The proceeds were donated to the Phoenix House charities who funded heroin recovery centers in the UK. In the following year, she featured as a chorus vocalist in the British-American charity group Fairy Aid, who released a cover of Let It Be by the Beatles. Proceeds were donated to a charity supporting the victims of the Zeebrugge disaster. The single sold over 500,000 copies in the UK, where it topped the charts for 3 weeks. In 1990, Bonnie joined Rock Against Repatriation to record a cover of Sailing. It was a protest song in response to the repatriation of Vietnamese boat people who fled to Hong Kong. The single peaked at number 89 on the UK singles chart. Since the 1990s, she has been a patron of the Bobeth Children's Therapy Centre in Cardiff, Wales, who provide care for children with cerebral palsy. In 2013, she campaigned for Bobeth to be recognised at the Pride of Britain Awards. She is also an ambassador for the Noah's Ark Children's Hospital for Wales. In January 2005, she performed at the Rock for Asia benefit concert in Ingolstadt, Germany, raising funds for the victims of the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. The event was recorded and released on DVD. In 2007, Bonnie Tyler recorded I Don't Know How to Love Him for Over the Rainbow, a charity album conceptualized by Annika Rice on the television show Challenge Annika. The album reached number 1 on the UK compilation chart, with proceeds going to the Association of Children's Hospices. On the 1st of November 2009, she performed as the headline act at the Pinktober Women in Rock concert at the Royal Albert Hall in London. In the following year, she co-headlined at a benefit concert alongside Leo Sayer raising funds for Variety, the children's charity, in New Zealand. In 2012, she was named patron of an animal charity association in Portugal. She re-recorded Holding Out for a Hero for the 2013 Children in Need appeal. In 2014, she endorsed the BUAV's campaign to make it mandatory for animals in testing laboratories to be rehomed. In 2020, Bonnie contributed to a cover of Don't Answer Me by the Alan Parsons Project to raise funds for Bergamo, an Italian city that was deeply impacted by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. She has had many honors, awards, and recognition. Total Eclipse of the Heart and It's a Heartache have estimated sales of over 6 million units each, and are among the best-selling singles of all time. Lost in France led to her nomination for Best British Female Newcomer at the 1977 Brit Awards. In 1979, won the 10th World Popular Song Festival with Sitting on the Edge of the Ocean, representing the United Kingdom. In the 1980, she received nominations for 2 more Brit Awards and 3 Grammy Awards. In 2013, she was presented with the Gold Badge Award by the British Academy of Songwriters, Composers and Authors, BASCA. 2013, she also became the first and only representative of the United Kingdom to receive a Eurovision Song Contest Radio Award. In addition to her music awards, she has received local honours in Wales, including being named Freeman of Neath Port Talbot in 2011, and an honorary degree and doctorate from Swansea University in 2013, honorary fellow of the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. In 2016, she was honoured by the Lord Mayor of Swansea for services to music. In the 2022 Birthday Honours for services to music, she was awarded Member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE.